Sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I know he's a great guy, works real hard, unreal athlete. He's, you know, super nice, always, you know, got a smile on his face, always joking around, having a good time. But at the end of the day, great worker.
I grew up in Akron, Ohio, you know, Roslyn Avenue, home of LeBron James, you know, something like that. Richard Pryor, it's a lot of people from there, but I grew up in Akron, Ohio, a little town, everybody know everybody.
How did I decide on the name KingDamon? Well, actually, I didn't name him that. I named him Damon. His dad gave him KingDamon because he said he would always be a king to him, and one day he was going to live up to his name. So.
Because they worked so hard and they went undefeated, and then they ended up not going to a bowl game. I was upset because my friends from Ohio was up here working hard, going through the process, and get them a national championship. I had friends on the team. I wasn't like, oh, just that's what's up. I didn't play, so I'm happy that they didn't make it. No, I didn't feel like that because I made friends on that team, and I still worked out with them. And I wanted them to get the national championship for their benefits. I went into boxing. This was their thing. This was their main goal, was to play football. So I was upset that they didn't get the goal that they accomplished, and they worked all summer for it. So that's why I was upset. It was for that reason. But I found out through a text message. The coach didn't call me. He sent me a text and told me that the program has been canceled. So turn my stuff in. So it was like, dang, like that's the way you approach a player. That's how I took it. But, you know, that's how I found out. Football, ain't no football like Ohio, I'll tell you that right now. Ain't no football like Ohio. We the best. It's just, you know, it just come natural to us. I come up here. It's good talent, don't get me wrong. It's talent everywhere, but there's nothing like Ohio at all. Like, I know a football player. You can see a football player. There was some talent up here, but we just stood out. It's just, I don't know, it's just something in the water in Ohio. It's just different. The coaches was cool. They wasn't no typical coaches. They was more on trying to get people out so they can look good. They wasn't trying to basically make a kid better and looking into the kid and making sure he leave here as a positive influence in society. He was just basically trying to get his name known. And that's the one thing that I didn't like about coaches. They cared to a certain point, but after the season or doing other things outside of practice, it wasn't anything that they cared about. So other than that, it wasn't nothing to me. It's only one coach that I can say stuck there through anything, and that's Coach Andrews.
The thing I remember is getting a highlight video sent to us on YouTube, and it's still up now. And a lot of it showing him, you know, being an explosive kick returner and catching the ball out of the backfield and catching the ball out of the slot position too. Really explosive kid. We were always concerned about his size. You know, you look at the video, he's a fast kid, and you look at how big the kid is. You know, he's not really a big kid. So that's probably the thing we worried about. And then he came down for a visit, and he did a good job when he came down to work out for us, and then we're pretty much sold on him. You know, we had one of our indoor tryouts here, and he ran a good 40 time and caught the ball well, that kind of stuff. So, and his attitude was really great too. So we were sold once we got a chance to meet him.
Oh man, Coach Andrews, he was a defensive coach, and I played offense, and I used to kill his dudes. Well, he used to send the big boys at me, but I seen him from the defensive side. He was still giving me pointers on what I can work on, just because he seen that I can be better and he seen I can do more. So he, even though he was on the defensive side, he still seen something in me that tried to work through me, and I appreciate that because he didn't have to, because he's a defensive coach. And how the other coaches were, I was thinking everybody was gonna be the same, but he just want people to be better. He want people to work hard. He want people to be the best that they can. And I respect that about him.
As far as just, you know, he was telling me, I was talking to him yesterday, even though he was redshirted and, you know, he's sitting around, you know, on the bench and whatnot, he was telling me you were always over, you know, because you were defensive.
Right.
Still talking to him, giving him pointers and everything. And from everyone I've heard, he's just a hard worker and still had a great attitude about everything.
Right. I mean, I know the red shirt thing is really tough for a lot of these kids because I mean, he's got talent. He got talent to play right away, and we just happen to have a really good group this past year. We're 11-0, didn't even lose a game. So it's a situation where in a normal year, the kid plays right away. You know, so I always try to stay in contact with guys I ever help recruit to get here. If they end up being red shirts, you want to try to keep them engaged and talk to them, let them know you're still thinking about them. So I always try to find time. And I did see him off on the side, just joke around with him or say something to him just to make sure, dude, you're okay. And that we still want you here and expect you to be a player for us down the road. So I'd always bump into him and say something to him just to kind of keep his spirits up.
When I found out I was red-shirted, I was like disappointed because Coach Anise tried to make it seem like I was too small, like I was too little, but the other slots we had were the same exact size as me. And I wanted him to tell me the real reason why I got red-shirted, you feel me? Like I just wanted him to tell me what was the reason. I knew he was beating around the bush, so I took it upon myself to pray on it and to look at it and tell me what should I do. And my best decision was, at the end of the day, was to become a red shirt and just sit out this year and do something that I had my interest in, which was boxing. And as you see, this year didn't turn out the way it should have. They didn't go to the national championship. Things didn't go their way, so I think I kind of made the right decision to get red-shirted. But if I didn't red-shirt it, I still wouldn't be excited as I would that I red-shirted. So everything really worked out in his favor. You don't really see what's going on at first, but at the end of the day, it's all what he wanted to be.
Experience at the position. He played a slot for us, and there's, out of Coach Anise's old offense, there's only 2 of those guys on the field at one time, maximum. And we happen to have 2 returners back. Terrence Moore, that was a starting quarterback / slot for us his freshman year, and then we had just probably about 3 other guys that played a lot and rotated the year before, and they were sophomores. So he was just caught up in this position that was deep with experience, But
I Googled MLK when I found out I was red-shirted because I wasn't going to box until I finished college, because you can always box, you only can play football for a certain amount of time. So I wasn't going to box. I Googled MLK, I Googled boxing gyms around, and I found MLK, and I did a research on Floyd Mayweather because that's my favorite sports athlete, and he's from Grand Rapids, so I wanted to find out whatever gym he went to that I wanted to go to. So I ended up finding MLK, and some coaches at MLK knew Floyd and coached him. Coach Shannon, well, maybe not coached him, but knew him and his parents. Coach Shannon, Coach Boston, Coach Larry, I know was an Olympic coach. Coach Carl, he was like the director. And there was like a lot of athletes in there that was my age, my size, champions, state championships, national runner-up. So I feel like I was comfortable in that gym because a lot of people who've been somewhere, and I wanted to test my limits and my ability, and I wanted to fight them. I wanted to see what they had. I wanted to see if they can take my punches. I wanted to see if I can stand up to what they accomplished. So that's why I picked MLK.
KingDamon came here, GRCC football. Program is labeled. I got a call from where he's from, Ohio, Coach Porter. Coach Ken Porter is the coach. Ken Porter knows me because I've worked with him and I've worked with his son, who's a pro right now. He's, 18, 19 and old. So I've worked with them all before on the national level. And they heard of me being here, and since he's going to school here, they said, you be in great hands with this coach. And I love him. He's an athlete. He's an athlete.
I always had him in the gym anyway. Since he's like 2 years old, he's always athletic. So he went from wrestling to football, baseball, basketball. He did really well at every one, and he kind of had to decide what he wanted to do. So his sophomore year, he decided, well, I'm just going straight into football only. So he came down here to play football, but he got red-shirted, and he ended up canceling the program. So KingDamon is the type that he doesn't let anything stop him. So he went to boxing. He's like, well, I'm just going to go full force with boxing. I'm in Michigan. They got a lot of good coaches here, Olympic coaches. So, Mom, I think I want to just go ahead and go into boxing. So I called their dad. We talked about it, and he was like, well, I told you he was a fighter. Let him fight. So he's been working hard.